From rising up the basketball rankings at a young age, to widely being considered as the next Kevin Durant at just the age of 16 years old, Michael Porter Jr. has had quite the journey. Now, this is a player who's had
not one, not two,
but 3 major back surgeries in a span of just 5 years. But despite that, it's only really groomed him into one of the most confident players in today's NBA. This is the Michael Porter Jr. story. Michael Porter Jr. was born on June 29, 1998 in Columbia, Missouri, to mother Lisa and father Michael Porter Sr. Now, Lisa was an outstanding basketball player herself, and while standing at 6'4", she averaged 58 points per contest as a senior while attending Jefferson High School in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. But she just continued to develop, which led her to play her collegiate basketball at the University of Iowa, where she accomplished scoring 1,335 points in 3 seasons. Now, Michael Porter Sr. was a stellar hooper himself who played basketball at the University of New Orleans prior to taking his talents professionally to Europe. Their successful careers on the basketball court really had a large impact on Michael and his 7 siblings growing up, and it wasn't long until he started to turn heads and became one of the most sought after prospects in the entire nation. As a freshman, Porter attended Father Tolton Regional Catholic High School in Columbia, Missouri, and as a freshman, he stood at 6'8", 193 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan. And around this time, he was just showing a lot of glimpses of what he had coming into the future, from his athleticism to his shot creation abilities. And once he got going, it was practically nothing that the defense could contain. By the time his sophomore year came around, due to his stature and the countless ways he could put the ball in the basket, a lot of people were calling him the next Kevin Durant. And as time went by, he just kept growing more and more into his physical tools. As a junior, things were just too easy on the court, and the forward even had a performance when he went off, scoring 45 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, all in just 3 quarters in a win, but didn't stop there as he led his team to the 2A state championship. That summer, he participated in the Nike EYBL summer circuit, and while teaming up with Trae Young on MoCan Elite, they were by far the best duo in all of high school basketball. Porter was able to maintain averages of 26 points, 12 rebounds, which allowed them to win the Peach Jam Championship. And by now, Michael was widely considered as the best overall ranked prospect of the class of 2017. But prior to his senior campaign, he decided to make the transfer into Nathan Hale High School in Seattle, Washington, where he would be coached by former NBA standout Brandon Roy. And while standing at 6'10", Michael averaged 36 points and 14 rebounds, and went on to help his high school team maintain a perfect 29-0 record. On senior night, Porter simply went off and scored 52 points, 23 rebounds, but in a blowout victory over Seattle Prep. Porter went on to win the Washington Class 3A state championship, along with ending his high school career becoming a McDonald's All-American. He went on to be named Mr. Basketball by the Washington Interscholastic Basketball Coaches Association, but was also a finalist for the Naismith High School Boys Player of the Year award. Now, since he was the #1 overall ranked prospect according to ESPN, he could nearly take his talents anywhere, but he narrowed his long list of schools down to Indiana, Missouri, Oklahoma, Virginia, and Washington. He decided to follow in both of his sister's footsteps, signing the letter of intent to play collegiate basketball at the University of Missouri. His brother, who was a year younger than him, even reclassified up to play alongside Michael, but also had Porter Sr. during his freshman season as an assistant coach. Now, Michael went on to be injured in the first half of the season opener against Iowa State and was expected to miss the remainder of the 2017-18 season because of a lower back injury, which did require surgery. On December 22nd, 2017, he had a successful microdiscectomy of his L3 to L4 spinal disc. And just a couple months later, he was cleared to practice with his team again. On March 8, 2018, he returned in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. Porter even went on to play in the first round of the 2018 NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament. And while coming off the bench, Michael produced a very solid 16-point, 10-rebound, double-double performance versus Florida State. But in a loss, soon after, he announced he would forego his final 3 years of collegiate eligibility and declare for the 2018 NBA Draft. And of course, since he only produced a very small sample size of what he had in store at the college level, his name did drop a little bit in the draft, but despite that, he was still able to get selected 14th overall by the Denver Nuggets. At around this time, the Nuggets were really leaning towards him sitting out for his whole entire first season in the NBA due to his ongoing back problems. Prior to his rookie season even starting, he underwent a second back surgery, which kept him out of the NBA lineup until October 31st, 2019, where he would finally make his NBA debut. All the countless amounts of hours of him putting in rehab and just trying to get back to NBA full form, it honestly just all paid off. And while coming off the bench, he put up 15 points, 4 rebounds, but in a loss to the New Orleans Pelicans. And as time went by, he just kept going and developing, which led him on December 29th to make his first NBA start. Porter put up 19 points along with 6 rebounds in 26 minutes in a win over the Sacramento Kings. 4 days later, he scored a career-high 25 points in just 23 minutes in a win over the Indiana Pacers. Now, during that next season, he managed to come into his own even more, improving his averages of only 9 points in his first season to 19 points as a second-year player. Towards the very end of the year, he scored a career-high 39 points in a win over the Houston Rockets. In November of 2021, as he had only appeared in 9 games of his third season, his agent announced that Porter would miss the remainder of the 2021-22 NBA season, as he would be undergoing a third back surgery. And after coming back from 3 major surgeries in a span of 5 years, he's really put things together in his 4th year, where he's been able to score 17 points and snag 6 rebounds a contest, while shooting 48% from the field and 41% from the 3-point line. Now, he's became a very vital piece and a huge part offensively of the Denver Nuggets' success. Porter has not shied away from shooting the basketball with the immaculate amount of confidence, but is also doing his thing in the postseason and has so far been averaging 15 points a contest. Michael Porter Jr. always managed to stay solid throughout his endless amounts of setbacks along his journey, and despite all the high expectations that were placed on his name as a teenager, he's always stayed level-headed and never doubted his on-court abilities, which has turned him into the player he is today.
My thought process was like, I'm gonna keep working at this. This is what I love to do. You know, my whole life growing up, I never had a plan B. Always thought I was gonna make it to the NBA, always wanted to be an NBA player, so through all the surgeries, all the up and downs, that never changed, and I think it takes a lot of faith, but it also just takes a lot of willpower and things like that.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Michael Porter Jr. story.